If you haven't already, please also subscribe to us on Apple, Spreaker and Spotify. Just type in Brawl Boxing and you'll find us there. Thank you. I just want to start by giving a shout out to our amazing sponsor, CBD Uplift. They provide the best CBD products on the market, including oil, gummies and capsules. I've actually tried the products myself and I can genuinely say they're the best CBD I've ever had, especially the gummies. I'd seriously recommend anyone. If you use our discount code BRAWL20, you'll get 20% off and free shipping. So thanks a million, lads. Violent Gentleman, the newest and fastest growing boxing-inspired training/casual wear brand established in Northern Ireland. Violent inside the ropes, a gentleman outside of them. Behave accordingly. Check out their website, www.violentgent20.com, and all of their socials. Facebook, ViolentGent20, Twitter, ViolentGent20, and Insta, ViolentGentleman20. Thank you.
Heavy hitters punch bags are great for improving your technique as they're soft on your hands, which allows you to train longer and harder with less damage compared to a traditional punch bag. The product is great for building strength and fitness, and is fast becoming a favourite piece of equipment in many gyms up and down the country in improving their members' cardio. For any gym owners listening, one of the advantages to heavy hitters is that they can be used outside in fair weather and can be easily wiped down compared to larger traditional boxing equipment. These are obviously two massive advantages in the current climate that we all find ourselves in. Heavy hitters sell the product in 3 different sizes, meaning that they can accommodate to every customer's practical needs and abilities. If you check out their website today and use the code BRAWL20, you'll get 20% off all orders over £50. Personally, for us, heavy hitters have sent me and the lads a punch bag each, and I can't vouch for the product enough. It's so handy to set up and a great way to release some of the stresses of your everyday life. Definitely go and have a look on their website. You won't be disappointed. A massive thank you goes to That Prize Guy, who has also sponsored the podcast. That Prize Guy is a company who runs competitions daily on their Instagram and Facebook. They're based in Bangor in Northern Ireland, and they have a range of prizes from Range Rovers to Rolex watches and even 20 grand in cash. If you check out their website at thatprizeguy.co.uk, you can enter any of their competitions there. And if you use our code BRAWL20, you'll get 20% off and free shipping. So thanks for the continued support, lads. It's much appreciated. Big thanks to Wow Hydrate, who have sponsored the podcast. They've provided me and the lads with some of their protein and vitamin waters, along with electrolyte drinks, which are the best on the market. Thanks for your continued support. We really appreciate it.
Hello folks, and welcome back to the Brawl Boxing Podcast. I'm Kieran McCart, and I'm joined by co-hosts Colin McGuigan and Ram McLaughlin. So guys, we're in our first sit down today. I don't know why we're all looking at the camera, but we have a professional in the ranks. You've probably seen him behind the camera, but you'll get to see his...
Coogan's over tomorrow.
Coogan's over
tomorrow.
We
got Andrew.
I'm an idiot. I told you before we start, I'm an idiot with a camera. That's all I am. Don't worry about that.
For anyone who maybe hasn't seen your face before but might recognise your voice, can you give us your famous intro?
And look in the camera.
Look at the camera. Andrew McCart, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted to be joined by
Kieran
McCart, Colin McGuigan and Ryan McLaughlin, the Mac show. Come on! The Big Mac show! Yeah, it's all Macs over here. It's the Big Mac show.
So we'll get started by how we met. Andy, we're in the bubble at the minute for the Michael Conlon fight at the Fela. Do we keep looking at the camera? Sorry, this is our first interview, folks. So
look at us.
No, we're just having a conversation, you know.
Cheers, man. Professional. I'll take his word for it. So we met.
What makes you happy?
We met with the okay. So we are in the bubble now for Mick Conlon at the hotel, and we met Andy last night. We were on the pints soon.
No, we were on the water.
On the water, pints at the
IFL company card.
Cheers, cheers, Coogan.
He will be the first one to watch this.
I heard Coogan's a big fan of the show. So.
Oh, he loves it.
He loves it.
He actually did when we tweeted his podcast out. He quote-tweeted it. He was like, really fucking enjoyed this.
Yeah, I won't say about what photo Coogan asked me to put as our poster for the podcast.
Is it one him in a vest?
It might have been.
Yeah.
Is that his go-to one? Is that his Tinder profile?
See, when he was training, he was before the wee one was born and stuff like that, he was training really hard. And to be fair, he did look a little bit jacked.
Did he?
So when he put crossed his arms. When you cross your arms and you pump up your biceps.
It actually
looked good. I'll give him props, Coogan. You did look good, mate. He did look good.
It's the tats as well, though.
Yeah, he's a tat. He looks like this. Have you seen his tat?
Has he copied you? Has he went for your look?
Oh, he doesn't watch. He loves his hair, so he won't go bald.
Just on the Coogan thing, it's so mad that he was actually Ricky Hatton's bodyguard.
It's mental, isn't it?
Like, we spoke about it obviously on our podcast with him, but it is mental.
I was watching one of the old 24/7s. Have you? Anyone of you seen it? I think I might have sent it in.
No.
And it was I think it was Mayweather Hatton or Pacquiao Hatton, whatever it was. And they go to the gym and you just see Coogan standing there, like, and it was the first time I'd seen it, and I was like, what?
He was big then, when he looked like a big unit.
What is compared to you? I've seen your Instagram videos. Obviously, you're training James English as well.
Yeah.
It's the second best podcast in the world he has.
Yeah.
Obviously, James' message last night to say he takes inspiration from us, so we really appreciate that, James, if you're watching.
James, we'll get you on sometime, a couple of months. If
we can fit you in.
Next 6 weeks, but
you better be in the gym.
And stop taking our fucking guests.
You better be in the gym.
No, but like, I've seen you on the bag. I've seen you look like you're very handy on the mitts.
I'll punch your face in now.
I'm
joking, man.
So was Coogan just basically?
He's a unit.
Yeah. So he wasn't. He can't. Can he fight? Would you beat him? Would you beat him in a fight? Would you fancy yourself?
Yes, I'd smoke Coogan. But Coogan. I think Coogan's one of them little sleeping giant type things. Yeah, you've seen him when he does little sparring things with like Dillian White and stuff like that. You think, oh, come on. But I think if you really put it on him and that, I think that's when he'll snap.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it when.
But I think he's more of a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy.
Oh, really?
I think it will take you to the ground and twist you up like a pretzel.
If it had kicked off that time between him and Chisora in the hotel room, who was walking out of that room alive?
Oh, Chisora.
So what if the whole right, theoretically, right, the whole IFL team, you've got Umar. I imagine Umar can scrap like fuck. So if you've got him, you've got Oscar, you've got Coogan, anyone. Yeah,
there's 5 of us now.
5? Okay, all 5
There'll be 6 soon. I just want to announce I haven't signed for anyone in football because I've officially signed a new contract with IFL TV Football Club, and actually officially
sponsored by Sports Direct.
And I officially started on the Joshua Usyk card. So it's great. It's great to work with.
So what you're saying, like, so if 5 of us took on Chisora in a room, I'd be the last one.
I'm talking an angry fucking Chisora.
I'm an angry mad Scot, so that'll probably get me in trouble. I think it'll be like a Royal Rumble. I think Oscar will be out first, then Umar,
then Coogan would ring Frank Smith.
I think Raza will be in with me, so Coogan will be out third. And
Coogan would be very hard.
Then it'll be me and Raza.
Oh.
So Raza's quite a big boy.
I haven't seen Raza.
Nah, he's quite a big boy. I think he can handle himself. So I think what I'll do is I'll push Raza at Chisora.
Yeah.
Let Chisora, like what they do in Royal Rumble, normally push him against a big guy and stuff. That's what I'll do. I'll push Raza in front of Chisora, let Chisora take care of him. Then I'm the last man standing, so I've won. I'll just take a dig and walk out.
Oh, here, you'll take it. Well, we made it cast out by then as well. Or you might have fucking probably like Dillian White walking past.
Listen, if Chisora watches this, I'm not saying I can take you, big man. I'm only kidding, mate. I know.
In the small print, Chisora has to have had 12 pints as well before.
So Andrew, obviously bringing it back to the very start with you, we're really interested in how your journey and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah.
So
Coco getting all serious here, guys.
I know, we had to get serious at this point.
See, that's the professionalism.
Yeah.
So professionalism.
He hasn't took that hat off all week.
It's a nice hat.
I love it, and I'm trying to get it out there so everyone who's watching this come back.
And fight picks as well, download that.
Yeah, download fight picks because
Gotcha, bro.
They're
add me, Andrew_IFL.
No, don't add Brawl Boxing because they're now sponsoring us as well. Andrew doesn't. Okay, so dead serious, right? Very start. How did you get into this, or even before that? What did you do when you left school, for example?
Oh gosh, when I left school, I grew up in Germany. My old man was in the army, so. My mum and dad had me at 17 years old. Mum was pregnant with me at 16, so they had no money. And the only way for my dad to get money was to join the army. Basically, my mum's parents was like that. Listen, you've got no money. How are you going to raise this kid? Go out and get a job. So the first thing he did was, well, I'm not good at it, but I don't think sorry, Dad. But you know what I mean. So he's like, what can I do? He joined the army at 17. They got married at 17, 18, I think. So they can get a house. So when my dad got posted to Germany, they can get a house. You know, you can get an army house if you're married. So my dad, the best way for us to get a house for free, not live at my mum and dad's house with like 6 other kids, and it's a like 2-bedroom house with all these kids and stuff like that. We'll get a house, and that's basically it. So my dad ended up becoming a good soldier. He got promoted all the way up to captain, done military mission in Kuwait and all this sort of stuff. So when I was 15 years old, I grew up in Germany. basically for 12 years, 3 years in Inverness, in between Berlin and all these places, and then 15 when I left school, I was like, peace, I'll go back to my homeland. Went back to Scotland.
Berlin's probably closer to Glasgow than Inverness.
You ever drove up? You that A9 road from Edinburgh, it's a beautiful road, but it's a dangerous road. It's a single carriageway, it's all through the Highlands and up that. So that's my watch telling me my 7 workout week. Well done.
You just recently got actually Nando's in Inverness. Just recently.
Yeah. What? I thought Inverness. Is it a city? No.
It's a city. It's a city now. So I was there when I was. What? I think I was
30 years ago.
30 years ago. It was my sister was born in 1990. She was born there, right? So it was 30 years ago.
You're stalking him overnight.
So I lived in Inverness for 3 years. Then moved back to Berlin, and then I was in Berlin for 3 years, and then I moved to a small town between Hanover and Hamburg for 6 years, and that's where I finished my schooling. And it was like an army school. You had Irish, Welsh, English, Americans. So you had an eclectic group of people in there. So my accent was quite funky. Do you know what I mean? That's why I can do. That's why I can do. When I was talking to you about my stories in the States and stuff, like that, I can do a good American accent because I can remember like when I was a kid, there was we called it the pen. So I had like a football. It's like a mesh, 20-foot mesh fence like that, circling a 5-a-side football pitch this way and a basketball court widthways. So 1 p.m. was the British kids. They can go in and play football, soccer, right? And then the American kids had to come in and play basketball. But the American kids were teaching us basketball, we were teaching them how to play football and stuff like that. But one time, like I remember the old Reebok Classics. Remember them when they came out? Yeah. The Americans never had them back in the States, so they were like,
really showing us age here, by the way.
Yeah. So they were like, what's that?
Oh, big time. We didn't grow up in that era.
No.
We started a total 90s onwards.
You would like Air Max straight from the start.
I started at K-Swiss, so I'm even older.
That was like a long time ago. Jesus fucking hell. How old are these boys?
26.
26.
26? 31.
You don't look a day over 31.
I look older than you, like.
I know. I've had a hard life, man. And then I stayed there, moved back to Scotland, and then it was hard for me to get a job because I had no friends back home. I used to go back home every summer. Don't tell me I didn't. I never went back to Edinburgh. I'd always go home summer holidays, Easter, Christmas. Summer holidays, Easter, Christmas. It wasn't like I was in Germany. I never went home and that. I did go home and see my family, my aunties, my uncles, my nana, and all this sort of stuff. My cousins. But then I never had any school friends. I'm the oldest. Yeah. All my cousins and my brother and all that are younger than me because I was obviously the firstborn because my mum and dad had me at quite a young age. So then I moved back, no job and stuff like that. And I got into a little bit of trouble and got into a wee bit of trouble, and then basically the sheriff at the court basically said, I basically told my lawyer that my dad's in the army. I got into a little bit of trouble in the wrong crowd, and my lawyer told the sheriff this, and the sheriff basically said, listen, join the army and I'll defer sentence or whatever. I'm not going to tell you what I did. Well, there's another podcast. That's when I joined the army, and I done as best I can and done 4 years there, served in Iraq and Afghan and all this stuff.
No way.
And then in 2004 I got out. Done boxing in the army and stuff like that. I always liked boxing. My dad was like a boxing champion as well, so he used to box in the army as well. So I was always into boxing. And then I used to jump from every amateur gym in Edinburgh and stuff like that. Alex Arthur was coming through, so he used to always go to the Alex Arthur fights when he won Commonwealth titles.
You're going to this fight this Friday?
His fight?
Well, he'll be a sparring. Oh, he won't be coming, will he?
No, he's coming. He's doing comms.
Is he coming?
He's doing comms.
You two going to spar? What do you reckon?
No, I was having a fight, me and Alex.
Oh, were you being serious with that?
I'm being deadly serious. September.
Oh, I thought this was a joke.
September 17th, me and Alex Arthur are having a fight.
No way.
A 3-round exhibition fight for a mental health charity back home called Chris's House. They do brilliant work for young kids that are suffering from mental health, especially with this pandemic and stuff. Like a young kid in Edinburgh, a young fighter, took his own life in January there. And it's close. I mean, Alex, I've been speaking about this all the time because we want to help these kids. We want to earn a lot of money to give. So these kids that are starting back, because the gyms are starting to open again, we don't want them to worry about the boxing boots and the groin protectors and the head guards and the gloves, because it's like 80 quid for boots and 60 quid for gloves and 100 quid for the head guard and all this, and gum shields and stuff like that. So it's close to nearly 500 quid for a kid to get kitted out for him to go to the boxing gym. So me and Alex want to be like, earn enough money for some of these kids, even if it's maybe 20 kids we can help. Yeah. Give them the money, say, listen, there's all your boxing stuff, go and enjoy the gym.
Now, is there theoretically, Andrew, is there easier ways you can make money for them?
You know what I enjoy? It's quite simple. I don't know what it is. I like fighting it. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like I always used to, like my missus would, like I'm more of a fighter than a lover. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't know. It probably sounds quite Neanderthal and cavemanish and stuff like me saying that, but I just love fighting. Mm-hmm. you know what I mean? It's that, like, it's just that, I don't know what it is in me. Like, even this, when I'm 39, to be honest, I'm going to be honest with you, I've just turned 39.
I think the title of this video should be Andrew McCart, I'm a fighter, not a lover.
Yeah. I'm a fighter. Well, I do love the
That sounds like something Ricky Gervais says.
My missus is actually telling me, she is, I don't know if she's scared, she's calling me an idiot. She doesn't want me to fight Alex. So obviously Alex is a former world champion.
He looks scarier now than he did then.
He's a beast, he's a big man, do you know what I mean? He's a killer body shot. I'm carrying a little bit of timber down there now. My training isn't going that well because I had pints with you last night. So I don't know how this is going to pan out, but it's 3 rounds. I've got 3 rounds in me, and like, I know Alex, hopefully he won't hurt me too bad. But you know what I mean? I'm going to go and enjoy it.
Well, you've been in there with Tyson Fury.
I have, yeah. Well, that was Tyson let me hit him a few times, but he did hit me back and he leaned on me as well, which nearly crushed me. But you don't get to see that on my Instagram. My Instagram's all about my highlights.
Oh yeah,
it's my highlights.
We could maybe send or put some of your highlights into this video just to show people that as like a wee teaser clip.
Yeah, 100%.
We'll
just get just you hitting
just how many winces.
Just with that dip.
Deontay Wilder be calling him in for a sparring partner.
Listen,
at that point the Fury sort of winces us, put that on loop.
I know I want to stay neutral, but I can't. I wouldn't help Deontay Wilder. I think he's going to call me. Sorry, Deontay. Off limits. Tyson's my boy.
That'll be his next excuse. I didn't have Andrew McCart there.
You touched on it. Obviously, you loved boxing when you were growing up in the army. Your dad obviously did it also. So how did the IFL gig come about? How did that?
Well, I went to a Ricky Burns against Gonzalez fight in 2013, and Gonzalez quit on a stool and stuff like that. I spent a lot of money on the ringside tickets and stuff. I was kind of pissed off for like spending all that money for a shite show and that. Not to do with Ricky and that, because I'm good friends with Ricky, but I was driving home one night and I'm going to write one of them little blogs, because I remember back then blogging was quite a thing, but you're probably too young. You know what I mean?
Vlogging, bro.
Fucking still believe in Santa and that. That's what that's real. Easter Bunny isn't real, no. So I wrote one and stuff like that, sent it out. And then it started gaining traction. Everyone was saying, good breakdown of the fight, good analysis, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, you know what, I'll write another one. Wrote another one. And then a guy on Twitter called Paul Webb, he got in touch with me saying, he was doing the same thing as me, writing blogs. And I said, do you fancy starting a website? So we started a website called firstclassboxing.com. And then we kept them pestering, like Anthony Lever from Matchroom, the media guys. We kept them pestering all these things. Can we get press pass? And then all of a sudden we got a tick, yes, you can come to a show. So I used to always go to shows and stuff like that, and then I would meet Coogan and James at the time and stuff, and then I always knew them from shows. But then I was lucky enough with Mick when he made his debut at Madison Square Garden. When was that? 2017, 2016, 2017.
Yeah, Paddy's Day
2017, and then I was over there, and then Coogan was there, and I landed, the message them, they were saying, at the Stuart Hotel. I was like, so am I. So we met at the bar. And they basically said, do you know Josh Taylor? Like, how did you get here? And I was like, oh, Mick, and all this sort of stuff. He said, you know these guys? I said, yeah. He said, you know Josh Taylor? I said, yeah. Josh Taylor was fighting for the Commonwealth title, I think, at that time. I said, yeah. There was a press conference after New York. So they went, you can see them sort of thinking. I went to the toilet, I think, and I came back, and Coogan was like, why don't you come and work for us? Would you like to come and work for IFL? I was like, what? He was like, yeah, just you're obviously passionate about boxing. You know these guys in Scotland and Ireland and stuff like that. Why don't you get a camera, just point and shoot and talk? And then that's it. And
sounds so simple.
So it sounds simple, but you see, my first interview was Josh Taylor, and I got my intro wrong a million times. I was starting like an idiot. I was like, Andrew McCart,
what are them 3 letters again?
In association with. What's that?
Can I ask you a serious question about that?
Obviously, you see the CT.
He's a serious guy.
Let me get.
Here's Morgan Life Stories.
Yeah. What time does Coogan get here tomorrow? Just for.
I think it's around about lunchtime.
So if I sit down with them and I say, Coogan, I'm really passionate about boxing.
I know Mick Conlon.
Yeah, I know Mick Conlon and a couple of other boxers.
No, it's my gig, mate. I'm a Scottish and Irish guy.
Yeah, so we wanted to see how your first interview go before Callum rudely interrupted.
It was just me. Honestly, Josh was like, are you being serious? So Josh actually done my intro for me. He's like, that's it. I was like, you're right, it's Andrew McCart, IFL. I was going like Andrew McCart, MTK in association with IFL. No, it's not.
I hope Josh sent the invoice to Coogan.
I got it right, and it was like, you could hear my questioning back then. It was like very struck. So I was like, so you're fighting in front of your fans excited. Like, it was very, very like nervous and stuff. Even though I knew Josh and was friends, it was just weird doing it. I had never done like the mic thing before, or the camera. So
is this on YouTube, by the way? Can you go back?
It's my first one, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll need to find that. Maybe I'll add
it. No.
No.
It's like, did you ever see when Gary Neville first started on Monday Night Football or Sky Sports punditry? He's talking to Mancini, and it is awful.
Is it?
And but even the Gary Neville's unbelievable what he does now. But like, that's literally what it's. And if you watch ours
on Monday,
people say us now.
True.
The thing that I've learned is, I think I said that to you last night. The thing that I've learned about the interviewing, like I didn't go to like no university or anything like that, journalistic degrees or nothing like that, and how to speak and proper, because I'm obviously my accent's a wee bit funky as well, so I don't try and pronounce my words properly. I don't hide the fact that I've got an accent, so maybe I should, because maybe I'll probably get less abuse on that YouTube. But I'll try and have a conversation with What's up, boys?
Three absolute smicks are bumping the window now because of the same podcast.
Not even going to edit that out. That's Belfast.
That's Belfast. He's just give me a wanker sign. Wow.
You were boxers.
You've got the fight tracks. I don't know where these tracks what was I?
Oh, you were saying you didn't have a journalistic degree.
Yeah. So then now because I'm in the sport quite a lot and I love the sport and I'm passionate about the sport. Like people always ask me, how do you know about fight and stuff like that? Because I know Mick and TJ, I know their backgrounds, I know what weight the class they're in, I know that, and I know the undercard fighters, because especially the Irish guys like Poddy and Tyler McKenna and Sean McComb and all these guys and stuff like that. So I know the last fight, I've been to their fight, so I only have like 2 base questions I asked them, like how did the fight go and stuff like that. Then I sort of bounce off their answers and try and have a flowing conversation rather than having structured questions like reading off a notepad and making sure I answer this question before they, you know what I mean? That's how I'm just learning on the job. And probably I've learned a lot from Coogan as well, watching the way he does it, because he doesn't like. He probably does prep in the house, but because he's in the sport so much as well that he just goes in there and just asks questions. There's not really much. Probably preps in his head, because that's kind of what I do. I don't have a notepad of that, but. Yeah, so I probably bounced off him a little bit and learned from him subconsciously, if that, in a way.
Hey, damn notes, calm.
No, but tell me this. One of the things we all really admire about it.
Is this just the sponsorship thing, or can we drink this?
Oh yeah, you can drink it.
Yeah, can we drink this?
Teach you how to drink it though.
No,
Do you know what he's in?
Come on.
He's been in boxing longer than us, for fuck's sake.
It's the orange flavour.
Electrolyte one. Yeah, like that,
One of the things I really admire about IFL is the ability, number one, to stay neutral, but they ask the hard hitting questions, because we feel awkward ourselves. Like, we have guests on and we don't want to, not that we necessarily want to lick up to them, but you don't want to ask questions when maybe controversial. You and the rest of the guys are great at doing it. Do you ever feel like a bit, you're thinking before, fuck, do I really want to ask this?
That happened at the press conference as
with
well.
the press conference.
Yeah, well, you saw it there. I asked
you were the only one.
The only one asked a question, and it sort of kicked off that whole thing with TJ and Mick. But sometimes a fighter, if or a promoter or a trainer, if their fighter's been hurt badly, sometimes you'll say, can I get an interview? And they'll be like, yeah, but don't mention, can you not talk about this? And you've got to be respectful. You don't want to be, because you've built up a relationship with these guys, you know what I mean? You don't want to be disrespectful. We know that's the hard hitting news, but sometimes that fighter or that promoter or that trainer or that manager respectfully asks you not to ask that question. So sometimes you've got to be, obviously, like I said, you know them, you're friends with them, and you don't want to be a prick and be like, you told me not to ask, but you know what? Just so I get a couple of more views. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be like that, and that's kind of like
burns bridges. Doesn't
it? It definitely does, and that means that's that bridge gone. So even though you're getting more, like 10 more views on that interview, you're missing out on hundreds more interviews and more views. So, and sometimes when you do that, you get that. I get it all the time, the abuse on that YouTube. So,
I think everybody does. Every IFL video, the comments are mental. Like.
But that's the thing. It's like, you didn't have to ask a question. It's like, but you want to understand that sometimes the fighter doesn't want to talk about that, and he asks you before the interview, don't talk about that or no interview.
But I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying sort of that. Obviously, there would be times which I wouldn't notice. I wouldn't see the times you don't ask, because it's like, I didn't hear what was said before. But like, there's press conferences, for instance, or interviews with, say, Eddie, and you or Coogan or one of the boys will ask a question where I'm thinking to myself, would Eddie not be thinking, fucking why'd you ask that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. See, Eddie's brilliant, no man, because Eddie he accepts it. No, it's like he's got. He's a Teflon Don, if that makes sense. You can ask him anything.
He's one of our close personal friends as well.
Yeah.
So.
do you want his number?
We're not that close.
Get a few more pints in the alley tonight.
Eddie's brilliant like that, because like people might think he's a prick and whatnot, Eddie Hearn, but the way he is and the way he gives everyone his time, like he'll give Sky Sports all the time, he'll give IFL all the time, he'll give Raw Boxing all the time. So he'll go down the list of like even a guy that's travelled up, if he's got a show in London, a guy's come down from Newcastle who's got 100 subscribers on YouTube, he'll give him the exact same amount of enthusiasm, the exact same amount of time as he did for Sky Sports. That's just the type of man he is. Like some people think he is a silver spoon prick. I don't, Eddie. I think you're a cool guy.
What is it he says? He says he likes to say that he's a bit of a knob. He's like, I like that. He's like, no, I don't want to be a wanker, I think, but a bit of a knob. Like, I'll take that.
That's exactly what he is. He's a bit of a knob. I mean, he is a bit of a knob, but he's a good knob.
Like, he didn't have to.
Okay, I do. What's your word thing?
What's that? It's like that train spotting thing, eh? Like when who was it? It was Renton goes up to the Wisden and everyone's like, let's go for a walk in the Scottish Highlands. He goes like, it's fucking shite being Scottish. Some folk hate the English. I don't. They're just wankers. That's what Eddie. You don't hate him.
100%.
He's just a wanker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No.
That's especially. I feel like in like UK and Ireland and stuff that I feel like the Americans wouldn't get that. Do you know what I mean? You're talking about like, oh, he's a knob, but it's a good thing. And they'd be like, what? Like, how? You're either a cunt, you know.
I've seen Eddie with the interview, when the Americans interview him, that he tries to do is like, no, he's very sarcastic and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of American guys try and be funny, like Eddie being funny and sarcastic with them, and they not getting it. So Eddie's not getting that reaction you'll get from Coogan, me, Boxing Social, Michelle, Behind the Gloves, or any of these guys, British Boxing News or whatever. They won't get the reaction because they're just stone faced going, man, I can't believe you said that. I was like,
Eddie Hearns is such a cunt.
Yeah, it's almost as if to say, Eddie's like, no, it's a joke, bro. Yeah, he's very sarcastic, and he's obviously he's good at his job. He's good at the camera. So
you've been doing it 4 years now, then. So when you look back at all your trips, take Josh Taylor out of this, right? Because we know he's going to be your favourite, right? Of course. And maybe take Mick out because he could be. No, actually, let's not say favourites here because then there'll be boxers watching them maybe mightn't be on.
I don't have favourites.
Yeah.
Ricky Burns sitting there fucking him.
What was your best experience going on a trip basically for IFL to a fight card?
I think that one that sticks to mind. Two, in fact, it was Wilder Fury 2 when Fury stopped Wilder. That was unreal. Yeah. And then that last one, Canelo Saunders.
Tell us a story about that. You became very good friends with someone recently on that trip.
Canelo.
Cans. Elaborate, Andrew, please. What happened there? Because
what happened where?
You and Cans, you and Canelo in
close personal friend.
Like, I was going on his Instagram last night because he followed me back, and I was scrolling through his photos and just seen someone holding a camera, and then my good personal friend
Andrew McCart, IFL TV, sponsored by
MXC. He said MXC.
Put a photo of me up on his
Instagram. How did that come about? I did see it with my own eyes. Yeah. So how did that come about?
Listen, you can do your little editing thing because the main man's behind that camera. Nobody sees this guy right here.
Chris McElhenney.
And I know Mac. It's 5 Max. It's a Celtic connection right here.
Get in the camera, Chris. Show your face.
Give it a thumbs up. Looking one. Why have you got me behind the camera?
Whoa. Okay,
right, come on. You're almost like me. You better.
It's because we have at the camera.
You said the Easter Bunny was. You said the Easter Bunny wasn't real, but it wasn't taking my teeth. It was taking my strands of hair every minute.
The Easter Bunny. There was one time he was like, so Canelo Fight Week in these bubbles. It was like all the media going around like that on the room, and he goes like ESPN and Sporties, Azteca, all the other media guys, like the big Mexican guys, and then all the independent YouTube guys spot on. So he was getting mic'd up one day with I think it might have been, let's just say Azteca. It was one of the Mexican media guys, and he was getting mic'd up, and he's sort of like, and he's looked at me, took him, morning, Andrew, like that. A proper fanboy moment, and it was just
your
like,
boxers were like a painter's radio.
That Southport meme.
Painter's radio.
It was just one of the moments, because normally, like, I always like say, "Hola Canelo, como estás?" Like, I always do my intro, but that time we'd done that, I done a question straight off the bat in English, and that was the first time because I spoke in English. He gave me an answer in English, and it was just. I put it on my Instagram that when we spoke English to me. It was the first time we had ever spoke English.
Your Spanish is. We were sitting last night having a few pints, like, and there was.
Don't know if we've mentioned that, by the way.
I know we were with that. What's Paco's or?
I don't know. I just know him as.
He's a legend. He's Mexican guy.
Yeah, he does.
It feels weird explaining it to you because you're all there. So I'm like, but there was Mexican fighters coming over and people, and Andrew was speaking like perfect Spanish. Yeah. No, we can't verify if it was real.
I was just bagging it.
It sounded legit.
All you do is say Spanish names fast enough. Hey, José Dominguez Rodríguez.
españoles.
Sí. ¿Cómo estás?
Mi casa, su casa.
But like obviously you were saying about when you first spoke to Josh Taylor, like, and that was your first interview, like you were obviously freaking out a little bit.
Yeah.
See when you first like done that big name, so like obviously we got that adrenaline rush with Eddie, and like you got that little bit more nervous. Did you have that when you done like maybe Eddie for the first time, or like Canelo?
The first time I done Eddie was Josh Taylor against O'Hara Davis, right? I went. He was in O'Hara Davis's changing room obviously after the loss and that, and I went, Eddie, can I grab you later? Like that, as if it's, you know what I mean, I'm IFL TV, I didn't just say I'm IFL TV, Eddie, can I grab you later? I was like, okay, I knew he was going anyway, yeah sure, let's go. And he pulled me outside the changing room and I'm like, oh shit, now I'm interviewing Eddie Hearn. So I was like, again, it was one of the moments where I was like, cause I'm small, so I was holding the camera up like that, and Eddie talks, like he doesn't give you one word answers, man. You ask one question, he's answered 3 questions. So my shoulder burns when I was on the camera. So I mean that's why I've had to get myself a tripod, a monopod, because I was like, Eddie, come on, shut up. It's going down his shoulders, down his chest, his belly.
You're interviewing his kneecap, and then
you just skip past an area there, thankfully.
It was after his belly, right? That was the first time I was sort of like, I can remember just my right leg shaking a little bit. Remember when you do your driving test and that, and your right leg shakes. That's what it was like. And then the next time that happened was the first interview I did with Canelo. Like that was the only other time I've sort of been that this is happening and stuff. Because sometimes when you're speaking to a fighter that doesn't speak English and you're going through an interpreter, is there's that funny side to it as well when you've got to go out with a mic, get to the interpreter, you interpreter there, and you've got to go round like that. So that had an aspect to it as well, and obviously it being Canelo. Do you know what I mean? So that's when
just pick up that name, will you? We've had some big names too, alright?
There's that saying, you know, like about you don't work a day in your life whenever you're doing something that you love, right?
There's the seriousness column again. Love it.
Listen, you need that yin and yang. Use two of the fools.
There has to be. See, he knows he's professional. That's why I'm IFL and he's on.
You're more James English at this point.
He's buying the gloves. He's boxing social. How's that?
I'm Michelle Joy Phelps.
Hey, fight fans!
Hey, Michelle, come on your podcast. She'll come in like
100%.
So before I was rudely interrupted by heartburn and hiccup here,
because they're both annoying.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. You got it. So in terms of that, like obviously there's a point when things kind of get rough. Has that ever happened with you? And going around, like has there been like a time you've went, this isn't for me? Or
no,
there's never been like one night.
Sometimes it's been straight. I can remember I can't remember, it must have been an Eddie Hearn interview and that, and I can remember just talking to Eddie, and I got Sky obviously what to do Eddie, so I cut the interview up, and then I never got to ask him an important question about something that happened. It must have been something about Joshua, and I just left. And then Eddie said, Coogan said, did you get Eddie? Did you ask him about this? And I was like, oh no. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was like a big thing, and everyone else got it. Everyone like behind the gloves, box social, seconds out. They all got that quote, that content, and I was driving home from the press conference like, I didn't even ask Andy that question. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what can I put this out? And then it's like, they've all got the hard hitting news with something that just happened, but you didn't even ask. Like, it looks so unprofessional, looks pathetic, looks like you're just a novice. Well, I am a novice, but do you know what I mean? It's just one of the things that.
And was Coogan around egging your gaff after?
Nah, he shot my letterbox.
Like you look to be just living the life on Instagram. Like I watch your stories. Like even like the lad said there about Vegas and all. It seems to be like the high life. Like IFL, you're out there. 6 weeks was it?
But they don't obviously see the hard. They don't see the hard yards.
Is there hard yards with it? Because you haven't.
Like, I miss Kelly, my missus, I miss my family and stuff like that. Sometimes people say, oh, you're listen, I'm not complaining. Please believe me, I will not complain about this job ever. But what you see in Instagram's all highlights. All you're seeing is my highlights. All you're seeing is me standing beside the Vegas sign. All you're seeing is me taking a selfie with, I don't know, like Haney or Josh or stuff like. You're not seeing I'm not, again, it's not me going, oh, it's hard work, please pity me,
No.
but you're not seeing the interviews, loading up, looking for the title. Oh, there's another fighter, SIM card out, boom, go and grab him. Then you've got another SIM card to load up there. Oh, there's another fighter, take that SIM card out, put that SIM card in, go and get that fighter. So you're uploading, interviewing, there's SIM cards everywhere. So I mean, it's like 10 hours, 11 hours of uploading, getting interviews, running around the hotel and stuff like that. Like I say, I'm not complaining. It's a brilliant job, but that side's it's not tough. I enjoy it, but that's the side you don't see. You don't see me sitting in a hotel lobby uploading and stuff like that. You see the highlights when I've got a little downtime and I'm thinking, today I'm going to go to that Las Vegas side, or today I'm going to take a walk through the casino. Do you know what I mean? You're only seeing the highlights.
But is your missus not like fed up with boxing? Like you must just sit in the house literally during the week when no boxing's on, just sit and watch
she's
Canelo.
Brilliant, man. She's brilliant, man. Get a glass of wine, sit and watch it together.
She loves class.
She a big Canelo fan as well?
She loves Canelo. she loves Blue, and I'm training James English to fight all that celebrity stuff. So she loves all the Love Islanders and all that, and there's exes on the beaches and stuff. So I'm like, he might be fighting this guy. She went, oh my god, he was an ex on the beach. I'm like, like Aaron Chalmers, who's with Mick, like he was on Geordie's show.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was with him yesterday, and she went, oh my gosh, you were with Aaron Chalmers, no way. I'm like, what? Like, I know he's got like 2.2 million on Instagram, like,
But obviously you're a big boxing lover.
Yeah.
But like, probably people don't probably see where you're doing the long drives, the leisure centre shows, not the highlight of Miami and Vegas and blah.
That's what I wanted to ask about how you divide, like, because like if it was me in the IFL,
it would be a ruckus us three trying if we had to
if
do
you're
it.
going like AJ's fighting next week, I'm like, I'll take that, and there's like a leisure centre show on the same night.
I've never done an AJ fight.
Never, have you not?
Right, that's it. Coogan.
Any chance, Coogan?
Coogan. He's doing AJ.
I'm doing AJ.
It's done.
Now, to be fair, I've done, like, I don't think many of them have done a Canelo fight, and I've done 3, so
true.
I can't. I can't.
And Canelo's actually requesting you to come back personally to the AFL game, so
bring the Scottish guy.
Is Canelo Indian?
The best Mexican accent. Bring the Scottish guy. Like I remember when I first started IFL, was like I'd racked up miles in my car because I would drive to Sheffield from Edinburgh, I would drive to Liverpool, Manchester. In Glasgow, because I'm from Edinburgh, Newcastle. I've actually driven from Edinburgh to London once and then back up for a press conference. So,
all in one day?
All in one day, yeah.
Jeez.
That's when I first started IFL. That's when you kind of want to impress, like, you don't want to say no to something, and you're like, well, how am I going to get there? Like, Mum, can I borrow your car?
Coogan did say that on our podcast. For anyone who's watching this that hasn't listened to the podcast with Coogan, he said about Andrew going all the hard yards, going to the shows in Carlisle that no one else wanted to do.
I mean, Carlisle's a lovely place, we're not saying that, but they haven't got the stadium fights that obviously other
But he's
cities
thinking,
have.
like, to be fair, Coogan, he's thinking London to Carlisle's far. For me, Carlisle's not that far.
Yeah.
Just across the border.
It sounded good.
Yeah, it sounded good.
It sounded good.
Yeah, no, but I do appreciate that because Coogan, like, I remember the first time I get to work with Coogan properly at a show when it was like a full fight week, not just him coming for a fight night or me coming for a weigh-in or whatever, was Wilder Fury 2, and to see the way that man works and his hustle was unreal. Like, after the fight, up till half 2, uploading all the videos, like, because there was like like Jake Pauls, and you had like all these other guys like Charlos and Spence and Leo Santa Cruz all on the ringside, and Coogan was backstage getting. So you're uploading all these videos to 2:30 a.m. and then the after party was in the hotel. So you went to the after party till 5 a.m. Bed at 5:30. Coogan's up at 8. Andrew, let's go. David Hay, let's go. We're going to the David Hay's interview with David Hay. Boom, up, Uber, all the way across downtown Vegas to get David Hay. Why he's done with David Hayes on a phone call going, right, yeah, I'll be there, come on Derek, I'll be there in half an hour. Right, and let's go, we're going to get Derek Chisora's reaction. Another Uber, he's fired to the other side of Vegas, like a hotel outside of the strip, so like about half an hour in an Uber, got to Derek Chisora to interview him. And he's just the way he is, he's bouncing back to the hotel, he's like, you hover about here just in case you catch anybody, I'm going to go over there. So I mean, it's just the way, nobody sees that part of Coogan, do you know what I mean?
Sounds like me, we used to be fair.
It really does.
If you're the Coogan of this group, who's the Andrew?
He's the...
Don't fight amongst yourselves.
I won't fight him on but like, you're definitely Andrew.
I would say we're like a super breed. Like, we come together and we create this sort of Andrew on steroids. But it takes the both of us. Do you know what I mean? Whereas you're just.
I think we're all like different type of personalities like mixed into one. That's why I really enjoy doing it. You can't all be the same.
No,
it's like the same with the IFL. I'm sure with the interviews, like when you do listen to them.
Me and Rand, we just bring the crack. He's a melter, like, but he works hard. He fucking works hard.
Good.
And he's behind the scenes, and he gets the real questions in there. Like, we don't need to worry about.
That's what you need. You need that laugh, and you need that seriousness, and need that, because like I say, I like to have a laugh and stuff like that. So I can just talk about nonsense all day, but you wouldn't probably have found out that I lived in Germany and all this sort of stuff. So without him asking the proper questions, so.
Respect. Well, he's had some fans in tears, like, because he'll get somebody to open up too much. And we're like, well, it's a fucking half-an-hour podcast about boxing.
The spotlight comes out of nowhere.
When I leave IFL TV, and it's probably safe, you'll get me back on. I'll tell you the full history.
Oh yeah, you're never 100%. Leaving IFL. You'll be dead if you leave IFL.
The only reason he's leaving IFL is for world boxing.
Yeah. If you get me one of them fucking tracksuits,
Violent Gentleman, you're watching it.
Violent Gentleman.
Yeah,
in green, please.
Finally, Andy. Thanks a million for coming on as well.
No, thank you guys, man.
We'll get an in-depth on Monday, as you say.
Can we just be honest? The only reason you've got me on because bigger names were busy.
Not at all. Andy, the crack we had last night.
We were the first one we asked.
Bigger names were too busy. Andrew,
because we were too busy with IFL.
That's it, exactly. We actually booked out this room, came in, and he was sitting here with everyone we were meant to interview.
All in his laptop, smoke.
he was like,
he shared a room with Josh Taylor.
We had a double bed.
we had a title up.
Single bed for two.
We had an exclusive video of someone ready to go. I come into this room, Andy McCart's over the laptop, stealing my title. Couldn't believe it.
You know who you are. You know who you are. You know who you are. And I'll listen, by the way, and I'll do that Liam Neeson. I'll find you. I have a particular set of skills, and it ain't talking boxing.
No, Andy, thank you so much for coming
honestly,
on.
guys, it's been absolutely amazing, man. It's I love what you're doing, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. Like, you're a fun bunch of guys. You got me pissed last night, you bastards, but I did enjoy that, man. And yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing, man. You can be the podcast. I know what it is. It's because I'm getting Invisalign on my teeth. I'm getting my teeth fixed, right? So my teeth are changing shape.
That's a man with money right there,
so
by the way.
Cooking money.
On the company card.
Listen, it's not that company card. IFL company card. I was like, Andrew, where did this £3,000 for teeth come in?
Where's what? Let's go.
£3,000 for new teeth.
Can I use a company card for a new fringe?
I borrow mine. So that's my speech is a wee bit different because my front teeth are coming forward, so I can't. A podcast. You're doing well on the podcast, and you're a fun guy, and I've subscribed to you. Subscribe to the YouTube, because you're good guys, and thanks for having me.
We're all.
Is that gonna be a fist bump there?
Yeah, we're all big IFL fans, like, so for us to like get speed.
Come on, Chris. Come
on, Chris.
Take the headphones on.
IFL TV brings them in. See,
IFL times Brawl Boxing. Let's go.
No, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. And can I take this with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, well, hydrate.
Let's go.
Business.
That's our
We'll be back
first
again next
podcast,
week,
guys. And do you want to sign us out there since I sang this in?
I'll do it separate on the.
No, you just do it now. We're not editing anything. It's our first one.
Oh, we're in what music for? I didn't tell you what.
Why? Music for the end. No, we need to get that on.
Okay.
To break, so I'm fighting
sending us out this week on the Brawl Boxing podcast. Andy McCart ring walk music.
You won't get. You're not monetized anyway, are you, on YouTube?
No, we're not.
She's rub it in, lad.
Rub it in.
What way are you getting on?
If you were getting monetized, I wouldn't play it. You wouldn't be getting paid.
If we were monetized, I'd be getting veneers, fuck's sake.
It's not veneers, it's composite bonding and Invisalign.
That's what they all say.
My real teeth, look. Zoom in. I'll put this out to the Brawl Boxing podcast fans.
Is this an exclusive?
This is my ring walk song to fight Alex Arthur. This is what I'm coming out to.
Right. Are you going to sing along?
And are you going to wear the green and white tracksuit that we sorted out with? Okay, perfect. Violent Gentleman.
Listen to it, listen. Right, come in. Hit me with your best shot!
That is
hit me with your
Chris, what's the song? You know every song.
There we go. See, that's my rate. If that's a thumbs up, a thumbs down, let me know. But that's what I'm going with just now.
Epic.
So,
Well, there we go. Thank you so much, guys. Join us again next week when we'll be back with another special guest.